Hey, Raindrops. Yes, after another explosive episode of Bill Collective, I had to talk to the Queen of Jackson. No, not Letitia Pearson. I'm talking about I.
Who said that? You play too much. You know what?
Well, listen, I will say this. Whether or not you're the Queen of Jackson, you are a cover girl. Congratulations on being featured in Essence magazine. Congrats, my love. That's big. And that's been a dream of yours that even you told me about months ago. So how did that come about? And tell me how thrilling that must have been for you.
Um, First of all, I'm absolutely just ecstatic because I just saw it and found out right before we're doing this interview. So my publicist was telling me about them wanting to do the article. I told you about something that I wanted to do. Like I just had this idea and I still have that idea. So I think maybe it'll be in the works. Yes. So she was telling me that they wanted to do the interview and talking about Farish Street. And the thing is, and you know, I'm always keep it 100 because it's only been up maybe an hour and I'm getting these comments like, you know, yeah, congratulations, but I'm sorry that, you know, the other bells couldn't be involved and they couldn't do this and they couldn't do that. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to let anybody take this moment away from me because I have dreamed of being in Essence forever. Like that's always been a dream and a goal of mine. And the back again, I don't want to harp on the whole Farish Street thing and Letitia and me, but what we are doing now on Farish Street has been in the works forever. It was way before I knew about Bell Collective or even met Letitia and what my family and I have been wanting and trying to do. And it's still, I mean, it's still not done. We're just making small steps and moves toward it. I literally was late coming on to this with you. I get this exciting news about Essence, but then I get another memo what's being discussed in city council right now in Jackson, Mississippi, where they're saying they're about to put a temporary hold on bars, nightclubs, and restaurants coming into the downtown area. So what does that affect? What I'm getting ready to do, or what we're doing, because Bricks and Hops was already on the way to Farish Street. So it's like it's small steps, but I'm happy and I'm just grateful that my vision and my goals are aligned with what God has for me, because the more that I align them with him, the more doors are opening. And I am in Essence magazine. So you know what? That part. So I'm excited about it. And no matter what anybody is throwing, and no matter what they're doing in the city council meeting or whatever hold they put on it, if they put a 12-month hold, that's even better because it gives me the opportunity to continue to raise more money and make what I want to do even bigger and better. So,
well, look, you know, I love a good praise report, and I'm so happy and give you so much congratulations when it comes to not only Essence, because I know firsthand, based on our personal conversation, that has been a dream of yours since you were a little girl. But also what's going on with Farish Street, because this is a thing that, and I don't mean to shade anybody, because Lord knows when I say something like Keisha, it's shade, but whatever.
Listen.
It is.
I know.
Listen, you and I can relate to that.
Yeah.
It doesn't take 2 months to build anything on a street. I don't care if it's Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. I don't care if it's Forest Street. Mm-hmm. It takes time to build something that has legacy. And the problem with this world right now, one of the problems is the fact that we live in a social media world where everybody wants things to happen within 2 months, 12 months. It takes time to build something. Not everything happens overnight. And what these Black women are trying to do, you obviously a part of that, is going to take time. But it's the fact that you're doing it. It's the fact that you've had these roadblocks and it has not deterred you from saying, you know what, I tried, I failed, let's move on. You're like, no, there's more steps to go. So anyways, I say all that to say the only timetable you need to worry about is God's.
Exactly. And that's what I am focused on. I got out, last season when things were happening or things didn't happen, that was the first thing they said. Oh, well, she didn't, Letitia couldn't get it done and she couldn't get it done and da 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 da, whatever. And I always told people, I am grateful to Letitia for giving us this platform, for bringing this show idea to you, I'm grateful to you for taking this and putting my business, my life, Farish Street, and the rest of the girls, putting us on a international stage. I have people reaching out to me from Spain, from Africa. I had DMs from people just saying, if we come to Mississippi, we want to visit Farish Street, and watching Bell Collective. So I have.
But not only international, I thought a certain legendary icon, international celebrity watches Bell Collective that knows you. I'm sorry, who's that I'm talking about?
I wish to say that she knew me personally. I don't know. But honey, when she said, oh, Bell Collective, oh, you're on that show? But then shaded me. But you know what? I did not mind this type of shade because, honey, I told her you'll never catch me in the airport looking that way again. Because, honey, Miss LaBelle said, oh, you must wear makeup on the show because I didn't recognize you.
No, tell the girls who it was, sis. Who was it?
The one and only Miss Patti LaBelle. So she was in Jackson doing a charity event for Tougaloo College, one of our Mississippi HBCUs. And we were leaving Jackson, heading back to New Jersey, and she was leaving after the event, and we were on the same flight. And I wanted to say something to her. My husband, he's just like, looking at me. I'm like, okay, well, my kids, thank God for my kids. They were running over there. They were looking and smiling and doing. And I still was just like, y'all, come on, trying to act like the little mama. And when we got on the plane, of course, she was in first class. And, I had to downgrade to Delta Comfort Plus because I have kids now, That's my price range now. I'm in Comfort Plus now. So we were able to still get on with first class because, when you have these kids, honey, you get with the, when you need more help and assistance. So I was like, y'all, come on. They calling for us. He said, they didn't say that. They said we need assistance. And damn it, I need assistance getting on this plane with my kids so I can get to Miss Patty. So anyway, she was sitting down and getting in her seat. And I just took the opportunity because I didn't want to bring a lot of attention to her because, she was sitting with her people and no one was coming up to her. But as soon as I passed that seat, number 500, going to number 7, I said, Miss LaBelle, I just want to tell you that I love you. And I am. I'm a huge fan. I've listened to her my entire life. I'm the child of a musician. So I've known her music and listened to her music. And she was so she is amazing, Carlos. Her spirit, everything about her just says, like your loving mother, your aunt. I'm not going to
class, right? Regal.
Class. And when I tell you, baby was dressed to the nines, honey, I mean, her wig, her makeup, her neck, everything. So that's why she was reading my ass, because here I am coming in here looking like a struggling parent with kids running. And then my children just fly past, so they running all over the plane. And the stewardess was like, oh, excuse me, lady. Because Willie was like, babe, you got to go there. I don't give a damn. It ain't nobody else on the plane but us. They'll be fine. And so she was just like, I love your family. She told me she loved my family.
No, so go back. How did Bell Collective even come up in conversation?
Yeah, that's what it was. So she was telling me, I love your family. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And then she said, well, we were going to have to get a picture. And I said, I would love to get a picture. I said, I want to post it up. I want the girls from my show to see that I met Miss Patti LaBelle. And so she said, you're on the show. And so the lady who was with her said, I know who you are. I watch your show. And I said, oh, did you watch my show? And so then Miss LaBelle said, what show are you on? I said, well, I'm on a show on the Oprah Winfrey Network called Bell Collective. She said, Bell Collective? I know Bell Collective. Isn't that about the ladies here from Mississippi that are doing business or something? And I said, yes, ma'am. And then she said, oh, you must wear makeup on there because I didn't recognize you. I said, I do. And I promise you, I'll never be in this airport again looking like this. I mean, listen, I will take it, honey. And I tell you, if I ever see her again, but let me tell you this right here. So she said we were going to get a picture. I sit down and we get everybody on the plane. We take off. We head to Atlanta. When we get off in Atlanta, I couldn't get the people moving so damn slow. She in first class, she gone. I'm all the way on row 7. And I walk out and they had just switched Miss LaBelle off and I didn't get my picture. But
it's okay.
I'm going to see her again.
I'm going to tell you when you're going to see her. When you have a grand opening for your establishment on Farish Street, she's going to come to it because you are going to invite her because your investors are going to pay her to host it.
I receive all of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down and I'm going to make the vision plain.
Yes. No, I believe in that. And you know what's so funny, Aikisha? And you're probably like me with this. I forget that celebrities of her stature, of Miss LaBelle's stature, watches TV, let alone reality TV. So when you told me that story, I was like, because I heard she also, years ago when I worked on this show, I heard she watches Atlanta Housewives. So I know she watches reality, but again, that was years ago. But to know that she watches Bell Collective, knew what the show was, knew the concept.
Yes.
It's a blessing. So congratulations.
I was completely humble and just like you said, and no shade. I mean, I love our network. I love everything we're about, but I'm like, well, I'm on. Sometimes I think like, because people automatically think like reality TV and they go to this other network with those shows. Just for her to say that, I was like, boom. Look, it's only up. Like,
it's only up from there.
Yes.
It's only up from there, like your hair, baby, because you are giving me good old Janet Jackson. If video, you want this music.
Yes.
You look 20 years younger, mama.
Well, listen, I thank you for that because the way the streets are talking, honey, they said Hattie Mae is looking old. And I mean, how dare you? But you know what's funny to me is, I'm 45 years old. I am the mother of a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. I had at 42 and 43. I'm going to say you're probably 35 years old, and people think we're the same age. So you can turn back around. I'm still here.
Not giving me direction.
I'm just saying. Yeah, so so what does that say about you, honey? Hattie Mae. Hattie was one of the first African-American Oscar winners. Hattie McDaniel. And then I looked up the origin of Hattie, and you know what Hattie means?
No, tell me.
Hattie means a state ruler.
Oh!
Honey, I received Hattie Mae. My mother's middle name is May. Her name was Jenny Mae. So I loved it. And she always takes credit for giving people names. So honey, I received that. I love it. And I thank you. Because honey, Hattie Mae, get like Hattie. I'm in a loving relationship. I have a husband who adores me. Who's supportive, who's respectful of me, who wanted to have children with me. And I'm just, it's kind of sad to me because one of the viewers I was on Twitter because I was actually in Antigua when this episode aired. My phone was blowing up, Carlos. I didn't know what had happened. I was just like, oh my God, because my husband and I were celebrating our wedding anniversary, our happy, blissful marriage. And we were celebrating with another married couple who has and shares the same wedding date. And so as we were out the country living our best lives and just being happy and healthy and wealthy and whole, I get all these text messages. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So when I look at it, I said, Hattie Mae. So then I just write something, just, being shady or whatever, like, hell, I'm living my best life, get like Hattie. Well, I watched the episode later, like a day or two later. And somebody said it. They were like, yo, when did you and Latrice get beef? I said, I don't know. I didn't even know we had beef. Like, I'm like, wait, I have only been supportive. I don't even go back and forth in the conversations. Gucci is my girl, but I never get into like, oh, well, she's this or that. I always listen. And I said, well, I didn't know we had beef, but baby, what I do have is a skillet. And I'll
have a skillet for what?
For that beef. I don't mind frying it up for you and cooking it, sauteing it. Yeah. So I was like, okay. I mean, I had no clue. Yeah. Right.
Like I see why.
Yeah.
When
I
I
get
say
acting a mess. I'm not playing with you. But honestly, I did not know that there was anything. I'll take it as fun shade and like
Shay, yeah,
hashtag get like Hattie, honey. Because
I love Get Like Hattie because you are doing it. You are so good on this show. We got to get into the biggest brawl ever. But before we get into that, I do want to take a moment to give you your flowers because when you came on the show last season, Mama came in hot, baby, and was like,
get my check for the next season.
Mama came in hot. So people listen, some people liked you, some people didn't, right? Well, this is what I always tell people. Every season is a journey. Just keep watching. Have you noticed that this season everybody is Team Aikisha? They love you. They listen. Now they love your honesty. Now they love your brutal. You know how brutally honest you are. The scene with you was that it was your aunt, right?
Yeah, that's legally my mother, so she's my mom. That's
Yeah,
my
so
mom.
mom. That when I say to you, girl, that changed everybody's perception and perspective of you. And what I always tell my reality stars who have a rough first season, first of all, I want to give you flowers because you're maybe one of a very small few. I would say I could count maybe three that I've worked with that had a tough first season where people just like, ah, you never complained. You never allowed that to affect you. You said, well, bitch, y'all talking about me, let me make some t-shirts. And I really think you should teach a class based on how to deal with social media fandom when you're a reality star, because you truly are one of the very small few of group of women who don't care what people say. And I admire that from you. What does that come from?
Well, you know what? I think for me, and I'm going to be honest, what bothered me were the people who knew me, or even my home people from Jackson, because I had a lot of people to support me, but it bothered me when some people who I thought would be supportive of me being on the show and trying to bring in another perspective of Jackson, Mississippi, those were the ones I was getting my hardest criticism from and really the most hate. So that did bother me. But outside of that, I never ever have been one to worry about what people who I don't know say about me. Like I just do not give a fuck. Like I cannot sit up and worry myself about somebody I don't even know who has an opinion of me who doesn't really know me. You're seeing a 3-minute scene of probably 3 hours of shooting, and you're basing your opinion on, whatever that narrative is or whatever you want it to be. Because a lot of times people have their favorites. And that's what I realized coming in. And I said the same thing to Gucci because we would talk sometimes and she'd be like, oh, they said this or they did that. Or I'll be saying, oh, this and that. I said, well, we know our OGs on the show, they have a built fan base. They have people who love them and are going to ride with them regardless. It doesn't matter what they say, whether they know it's the lie or the truth, they're still going to ride with them. I'm going to build that for myself. And I'm never in the business of defending myself when I know my truth. I'm never going to get on here and try to throw my bank records up and throw in, people's land rolls and their houses and prove how much money I have, or prove that I didn't lie about this, or prove that I didn't take the Farish Street idea. I'm not going to do that. Who gives a shit? You watching? So whether you think I have it or not, you still watching me. And as long as you watching me, Carlos King gonna continue to hire me. So, once I got that inside of me, you know, I'm a very spiritual person.
You are.
I just I feel like as long as God has been covering me and seeing me through, it does not matter what anyone throws at me. I'm still going to excel and just stay aligned with what his purpose is for me. And I feel like, Carlos, I've never felt more in my life that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that comes to Farish Street. That comes to BRAWL Collective. That comes with working with OWN, with Kingdom Reign, meeting you, just everything. And whatever else is in store for me, my family, my children, I just know, I feel right now I'm on the right path. So look, I don't give a shit. You want to say about me? Because every Friday I'm checking that account. I'm like, oh yeah, that's KRE right there.
Listen, we could spend a whole interview praising God and talking about that, but it takes years for reality stars to get that. And that's the unfortunate side of this business. And I had to share with the world that you have been that since day one. Don't change, don't waver. I know you ain't, child, but I love that about you. Let's also talk about, things that have been thrown like a drink. So one of the things that we saw this season, honey, your girl, your good Judy, SoGucci, and Selena, and that brawl, wigs on the floor, stuff on the floor. Aikisha was there. Aikisha FaceTimed me.
Yeah, if I still had my job, oh Lord, I told Gucci, how did we get here, Lord? Let me call the king and see if we still gonna be working tomorrow. Oh, yeah, let me tell you.
From your vantage point, because you were there, what? Explain to us from your, again, vantage point, what happened?
Well, you know what, Carlos? I'm gonna take you back just a little bit, just to give you a little backstory, and just because people are just like, oh, well, they walked in like this and da 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 da. When we got to this event that Latrice had invited everybody to, everybody knows that Latrice and Gucci were not on the best terms, but Gucci did say to me, I asked her, I said, are you going to go? She said, yeah, I'm going to go because I'm going to support her. I don't think we're never going to be friends again. I just feel like we need to have another conversation. But if you're going, I'm going. I was like, all right, cool. I said, well, she invited everybody. I had not done any scenes with Tambra. I had not done any scenes with Letitia. So this was going to be my first time seeing them. So I'm like, okay. Well, we get there and we were waiting to go in, and I had my hairstylist with me, and baby, she had worked the hell out of that half up, half down. Just let me let you know. Quick shout out to Brianda Edwards at Beauty Wigs Co. Cause honey, Hattie May came in there. She showed up and showed out. So anyway,
baby, wear money green, bitch.
That part. And you know what? Gucci and I didn't even know we were wearing the same color. So, anyway, no. So when we pulled up, Bree and I were in the car and Gucci was a car behind us. I'm looking in the rearview mirror and I see Letitia pull up. And when I see Letitia pull up, there were two ladies with her. Well, one, I didn't know that we could bring guests. I thought this was an all cast event. I didn't know how Latrice had it set up. Well, the young ladies that were with her, I thought was some of that Pilahatchee posse. So mind you, we had been off camera. My fan base, my family, Pilahatchee posse, Letitia's fan base, they've been going at it. And it was getting ugly. So when I look in the mirror and I said, oh, we could bring guests. This is not an all-cast event. And didn't nobody tell me? And I'm walking up in here. Okay. So I told Bree, I said, listen, this is your first time going somewhere with me. So I'm not expecting you. But I see that this is about to be something right here. I called Gucci on the phone. I said, Gucci, I just see Letitia pulled up and it looked like it's those two girls that were at that brunch. And from the Pilahatchee posse. I said, so I'm just letting you know. So Gucci's exact words, she said, already. That's all she said. We hung up the phone. So Carlos, to be honest with you, I really thought that was about to be my last day because what I do is play these type of games. And I was just like, I'm not coming in here. I don't do that fake shit. And I just was like, okay, yeah. So I came in, I already had something on my shoulder because I didn't know who they were. We had no clue that it was going to be Gucci and whatever was going on with her. Well, when we got there and we saw that Selena was there, I think, and Gucci, she may be mad at me for saying this, and we'll be fine, but I think Gucci was really in her feelings and she was really hurt because she feels like Latrice invited Selena to get back at her. Mm-hmm. And she feels that it was just, she didn't think that she and Latrice were there. Like, you know, we haven't talked. I know we are having a disagreement, but this is kind of low. Like, you know, I've never seen, only thing I've seen Selena at is things like if Tamra's had an event or something, but I had never seen Selena at any of our other events. And I definitely do not have an issue with Selena. I've known Selena since I was a very young girl, since we were in elementary. I've known Selena since I was probably 5 or 6 years old. Selena lived, her grandmother's house was to the back of my cousin's house. So we used to play together when we were 5 or 6 years old. So I've known her almost my entire life. And when we never became adult friends, but we were always cordial. I met her girls. I love her girls, especially, now working with them through the show. It was never really an issue. But with Gucci, I think her seeing that, she was hurt. And she was really offended by, like, wow, her exact words to me, she was like, Latrice is trying to get me fired. She felt like Latrice did that on purpose because she knew that there was going to be something. And I told her, I was like, listen, you don't have to say anything to her. You and Selena barely speak anyway. And that was my thing. I was like, y'all barely speak anyway. Just let this be no different than what it's always been. I had no clue. Like, I didn't see any of that interaction up close until I saw the show. I was on if you look.
Yeah.
When Tambra brought her ass in there, I went and sat down somewhere, and I saw Letitia. I went and sat down because Aikisha needed to be still and quiet so she could watch the room. So I was not, if you look, I'm sitting, I'm talking to Bree and some other of Latrice's guests. So when I saw that interaction, I was like, I could see that Gucci, she had an attitude because she was thinking, like, what the hell is she doing here? And why would Latrice do this to me?
Oh.
And I'm gonna call her when we get off of here and let her know that I told you. But
I think this helps. Well, and listen, we'll talk more at the reunion, but I think it helps understand going into, which is why I appreciate your backstory in terms of what people don't understand is when you're shooting a reality show, oftentimes you go into something thinking like, what do these other girls got up their sleeve? Because you just don't know.
You do not know. You do not know. And that's what, I'm a loyal person. I give the energy that's given to me. And I told y'all that last season when we were talking about this whole thing. I return back to you what you're giving to me. And, I know I came in there, I spoke, but I was I think they even called a scene when Gucci and I were talking and she was trying to go towards Tamra. I said, listen, I'm not with that fake shit. I'm about to go sit my ass down somewhere so we can get through here so I can make sure I get my check for the day, because I'm not about to play with these. I just was not about to do that. And I know I wanted to continue through the season. So I'm not going to ever, one, embarrass myself or my family. And two, I'm also not about to I'm not with that, that little fake, hi, oh, hey, I don't do that. So I went to sit down. But back to what we were saying. So when I watched the scene and I saw Gucci and Selena's interaction, I knew Gucci was already aggravated. And people want to put on, oh, she's jealous of Selena. She does this. Listen, I have talked to Gucci before any of this came about, before anything with Selena on this show. I have never gotten from her any jealousy. I'm not saying that because she's my friend. Now, I'm saying I know when women, feel some kind of way or they're intimidated a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that, but when I look back at that and I just remember what she was saying, she was upset with Latrice bringing her there. And she felt like Latrice did. And so anything that Selena said, you could see, but it looked like Gucci was walking off. Now, I don't know if I don't know if production gave Selena some beats that she just had to meet. Because she kept trying to get in this conversation. And I'm like, the girl's walking off, let her go. Like, you don't have to. Because what was even more just what's hurtful about it is you see Gucci and Sanjay hug, you see them talk.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate that it happened. I really
No, especially in front of the daughters. And to answer your question, and again, we'll get more into this at the reunion, but Selena said that because when she was shopping with Latrice, she just kept saying that every time I see, this is her words, every time I see SoGucci out, she does not speak to me. She ignores me.
right.
And I think based upon that, Selena said, so when you watch, it's not funny, but when you watch it, SoGucci, her green dress was like, hey Tambra, you good? Good to see you. Act like Selena was there.
Like she was invisible. But it goes back to, well, if that's what we normally do, what's the problem?
So again, and that's why that's a bigger conversation because so Gucci felt like this is our normal interaction. So why all of a sudden do you care? And that's why you got to dig deep into it. Like, if this is our normal interaction, why do you now care? So that's why all of that is very interesting.
I heard that extra comment. Listen. And Gucci was like, I think I was just upset because I asked her, I said, bitch, you didn't tell me you said all this. She said, I said, well, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're not main cast, you're an extra. Like, and maybe that's what she was pulling from. I don't know, but I know. I said, friend. Because when I asked Gucci, I don't know if they're going to get the scenes with Gucci and me, but I was like, what? How did we get here? Even my ass is on the floor trying to get them off. Girl, this is a expensive dress. I'm not going to be. But I mean, this is running Cobo, honey. Like, I need you. How did we get here? But when I keep looking at it, and I said to her, I was like, you were. I mean, she did. She was hurt by that, and she felt like Latrice was bringing her there for something to pop off, so she would get her fired. And I think that was just a distraction for her. She wants. I mean, not a distraction. She's trying to get something to take away from what's happening with her. This is, I'm thinking this is trying to do because there's been so much put into what's happening in her marriage and what's happening with her and her husband and like the scenes that we saw. People don't realize we saw that for the first time when they saw it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, of course you hear stuff. I mean, the streets talk, but I go back and forth to Jackson. And because I know that people will make up lies on you and they'll say things, and I know the jealousy is real, I never really listen to any of the things that I hear about the other girls or their relationships. But it was kind of like, whoa, this is confirming some of the stuff that people have already heard. And I think with all of that heat on her, when I look at the interviews and her doing her confessions and even the stuff that she's saying, I'm like, you know what? You probably need to focus more on the issues with you because you're doing a lot of throwing, all these punches into dark spaces when you need to kind of focus and sit in front of a mirror and listen to your mother. Because I definitely wouldn't have been giving any energy. You worried about if Gucci's husband is still in love with his ex-wife. Girl, worry about you and your equality. No, I mean, I'm so disappointed because I didn't know that there was an issue. I didn't know any of this. As it unfolds, you'll begin to see.
No, it's more to come. It's more to come. This season is.
And you'll see my concern.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how y'all edit it, but after that, and then there's another situation that's going to happen, is when I really started thinking like, okay, wait a minute, something's not right here. And I know that's, hopefully that'll develop and you'll be able to see that, because before this, I didn't know of any of these other issues. I didn't know what had happened at, Bar. I didn't know, that I was getting shade and I was the old lady, of the party. Like, I didn't know any of this. And everybody tried to comfort me, like, oh, she was being so petty, because when I began to hear, we do hear little things that are happening in other people's interviews. I never got anything like, oh, she's shading you. But when I heard about the situation with Selena, or somebody said that, I'm like, that's really crazy to me that you would be hanging with Selena, who your husband said on national television that he was screwing while she was married. And then now this is your BFF, and you're bringing her back and saying you weren't really ever that cool with Gucci when you introduced Gucci to the show. And if that was your BFF, why you didn't introduce her to, or pitch her, or I don't know. I was really confused, and I'm like, well, maybe it's something else there. Maybe it's not her. I don't know.
You intimated that there could be something going on. Let's be honest. There could be
the question was asking me, what did I think? And I'm just saying, I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
You'll know Latrice and Selena are.
I don't know if it's Selena. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out. Okay, so let's find out now. We are seeing that you and Tambra, like you said earlier, there's so far in this season, tonight's episode showcased Marie and you having a conversation where Marie was telling you she is pretty much about to meet up with this guy who was alleging that Damon and Tambra's relationship is fake. You were shocked about this, and you said, look, me and this girl ain't that cool right now, but I find it interesting that she has issues with me talking about me when your girl, Letitia, had all these things to say about your man, brought an alleged side chick to the show. Now you got Marie meeting with this guy, but I'm the bad guy. So how did you feel when Marie came to you with all of this stuff?
Like you said, I was shocked. And then I'm thinking, like, why do you care so much? I mean, I love me some Marie, but they were just really trying to get down to the bottom of this. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, Tambra, these your friends? You over here, you didn't speak up for me not once. And all of the things you said, dealing with Letitia and, Marie at last season wasn't really doing as much as Tisha was doing. She probably was just, in the amen corner. But this season, when she introduces this to me, I'm thinking like, wow. And you had an issue with me. You didn't want me in your little group text, And I was just totally shocked that they would go meet with him. I guess, they're going to see tonight without letting Tambra know. Like, if we were on better terms and the guy did reach out to me. The same guy they're talking about, he reached out to me as well. But I just don't entertain that type of bullshit. And Tambra and I definitely were not on the best terms. We were not talking. And I could give two shits about her business. And so he reached out to me and I deleted it. I never even talked about it anymore until we started filming and this came up, and then they were showing the text and who it was from. And I said, oh, he reached out to me too. I was like, wait a minute, y'all, you going to meet with him? You know how dangerous it is in this world? And then like, really? And that's what they did. So you're going to see
it.
No.
And then later in the episode tonight, we saw that, Letitia put together this Ponderosa, y'all throwing axes and stuff. And it's an opportunity for all the girls to get together. Tambra finds out tonight that Marie met with this guy. And we'll see what happens in next week's episode, the continuation of it. But how does it feel for you?
Wait a minute. Tambra met with the guy. You mean Marie met with the guy?
I'm sorry. Marie met with the guy. Tambra finds out about it and she gets mad and storms out. And then, of course, all of this drama is happening. I want to ask you this before I let you go. How does it feel to know that so far the drama with these girls have nothing to do with you, and you seem to be the peacemaker with Aikisha?
I am. It's just last season, y'all wanted to make me into the plate gate bitch, and the only thing I said is that it was dirty. Like, but you know what? I appreciate it. It carried an amazing season. And, here we are. So honestly, now I really think people are getting to see a little bit more of who I really am, Now listen, I'm not, I'm still me. And I'm not for the bullshit by far, but at the same time, I just don't like to see us just going at each other all the time for really nothing. The things that they are, even with Gucci and Latrice, I could not understand why Latrice does not understand. All it was a conversation. I don't think this girl was ever upset with you because you went with another realtor. I think she was upset because she found out about the shit on social media with everybody else. This is supposed to be her friend, and with the way this plays out with, you're going to see with Gucci, it's going to get heated with Gucci and Latrice. And then it gets heated with Marie and Tambra because once I realized who this guy was that they were talking about, because when I got the message and when they were explaining what happened with me to him, I didn't know that this was the guy that had been stalking her. I knew she had a legal battle or something with him. He was also the guy that, I think he burst some windows at her parents' house, or he did something. It was really crazy. So at that point, when I realized that it was that, I'm like, okay, wait, we might need to let this go, because Marie had a similar situation with a guy. So I'm like, why are you pushing this issue so hard as a woman, and knowing what you've been through? I think you would have some sort of empathy for her and kind of let this go. But honey, as this season goes on, you're gonna see they don't let it go, baby.
No, listen, the bells are ringing. Let me tell you something. What I love about this show, Aikisha, is it is creating a new fan base because, and I'm sure you've seen this, a lot of people are starting season 1 to now fully binge this show because listen, I'm not biased when I say this. Number one, is one of the best shows on television. And that's coming from me. I don't say that about everything. This show is phenomenal. It's A plus. It's 10s across the board. People are now catching on to it. And it's what I said to you 30 minutes ago about God's pacing and timing. And this show is gravitating towards a brand new audience, a brand new reach. It's beautiful to see. And this cast of women, as funny, dysfunctional, shady, and crazy as they are, it truly is an ensemble cast, because the 6 of y'all, magic happens when y'all are together. And I could not be more of a proud papa when it comes to, I am obsessed with this show. I'm a fan of this show. I talk about it. I always, because people always ask me, what's one show you would work on? And I'll name like Married to Medicine, The Braxtons. If I wasn't on this show, I would tell people like, please let me work on Bill Collector, because I know that I would give my life. And one thing about me hosting the reunions of this show, which by the way, we're taping it soon. This is one reunion.
Special day.
You said what?
A very special day. I don't know if you've gotten word what day we're taping on, but it's a very special day.
Oh, well, I may have a very special gift.
Well, and she's going to very specially take
it. No, I love it. But Aikisha, let them know, because when we tape the reunion, I don't know if y'all know this, we laugh the majority of the time. It's funny. And that's the thing about this show. Yes, there's drama. We saw that. This show makes people laugh out loud. And it's a testament to the 6 of y'all. And I just wanted to give you your flowers. Thank you for being a part of the show. I have so much fun watching it, producing it, hosting the reunion. I actually look forward to hosting the reunions, because I know for 12 hours, 10 of those hours, I'm going to laugh. And I appreciate that.
The good thing is we laugh and we cry. I mean, we just have all emotions, because then you do, just getting these intimate moments and gems are dropped. And then, it's a roller coaster of emotions, but it's amazing. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it. And I thank you for choosing me and using me and just allowing me to be me and get paid for it. I mean, I love it. And I hope that I am inspiring and just motivation to someone who's watching this, other people in the world. And the more we dive into my story, just people who can relate and they just get to know me, a little bit better. So.
Yes, no, and that's happening a lot this season. So, Miss Aikisha Holly Cologne, let the world know they can find you, follow you, support you, your initiative at Farish Street, all of those amazing things.
Yes, as he said, Aikisha Holly Cologne. I am at Aikisha Holly on Instagram. I am at Aikisha Holly on Twitter. I am Aikisha Holly Cologne on Facebook, and I am Aikisha Holly Cologne on Facebook. I am in Jackson and I am New Jersey. You can always come to our bar in the Bronx at 65 Bruckner Boulevard. That's Bricks and Hops. And hopefully, if this, in another year, they said maybe 12 months, but you'll be able to come to Bricks and Hops in Jackson. But there's some amazing things that are going to be coming up. I will be talking about them and releasing everything soon, but August is going to be an amazing month all around from August 1st to August 31st. There's something happening in August. So look forward to it. And I will be letting you know that very, very, very soon. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for having me, honey. And I will see you soon. Bell Collective every Friday, 8 o'clock, 7 Central on the Oprah Winfrey Network. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.